Cool shot. Let me do it again. I may have not captured in time. Cool shot. Oh yeah. Good morning. Today I have to run into town to take my daughter to a class, math class, and run a couple of errands. So it's a perfect time, lots of car time, to do a long video chatting about our transition from RV life to home life and what that's been like and what we anticipate and the difficulties and the good things, the bad things. You're in for it today, so get ready for that. But first I need to take these popcorn buckets from Disneyland out to the shed because they're taking up too much room in the office.
Oh, pickle fish, and I would stir it and it would look like swimming around, and you would take the fork and stab it.
Just realized I'm wearing flip-flops. It's kind of cool today. I'm gonna change my shoes. Just waiting for Erica now. Could be a while. Not driving. Just dropped Erica off for her math class where she is doing math that I've never seen. All right, I had to get my trusty flashlight out because I don't know, it was just there. This is gonna be a long kind of chit chat about going from a house to a trailer back into a house. So I will start briefly with why we got the trailer in the first place, why we moved from a house in suburbia to the trailer, and I'll make it quick. Basically, we wanted to figure out what mattered most to us in the world. So that was one reason, figure out what mattered most. The second reason was to go after dreams, goals, and kind of deal with convictions and things that we've had for years and years and years. And we wanted adventure, we wanted to travel, we wanted to do something different, go on an adventure. So we did. We lived in the trailer for almost 4 years, from the time we actually got the trailer to the time we officially moved into the house. During that time, we learned a lot about ourselves and the values that we had. Lots had changed for us. Our faith is totally different now. The things we believed before, we don't anymore. And the value that we have just totally centers around our family. Nothing major came out of it. Well, big things did, but they were very personal kind of things that wouldn't matter much to anybody else. And so for me, the takeaways from that was I wanted to live a life that started and ended with my family and their schedule and their time. Anyway, so that's it in a nutshell. I could go on for 3 days straight on why we did it and what we learned, but I don't know if you'll sit through that. So the reason we moved from the trailer to the house, there's two main reasons. The first is we thought while we were traveling, the dream world, if you could have it all, you would have a home base somewhere where you could come off of the road for certain times of the year. My wife wanted to garden a little bit. She wanted to have vegetables. And we thought it would be nice to have a place that you could decorate for the holidays or something, or just have things there that didn't always have to get moved around. Because when you're traveling in a trailer, you either don't decorate because you just are constantly having to move things around or take things down when you move the trailer, or you're just constantly moving things around when you move the trailer. Get it? Not a joke, but sometimes when you talk, you do this thing where you start smiling, when you're talking to somebody, do you see what I'm saying? And then they feel obligated to smile yes, is this a joke? And it just feels a little uncomfortable. So I'm not trying to lead you with my smiles, but I kind of did that a minute ago. Did you see what I did? See, like that. I don't like to do that. Now let me text her and make sure she is good. Okay, so that was the first reason. We thought perfection-wise, in a perfect world, we'd have a home base somewhere, but houses are expensive and we didn't want to push financially too far outside of what was minimal for us, because the more expensive your world gets, the less freedom you have, because you're really tied to supporting those expenses. And so we wanted to keep sure. Yeah, we did. We wanted to keep sure our expenses were low. So that was one reason. That doesn't explain why we moved into the house, but that was why we wanted to possibly find a house. The other reason was our kids. One of our children really wanted to be back in a house. Two of our kids were like, either way, they could keep traveling. They were good with the traveling, but if we moved in a house, then great, because there were things that they wanted to do in a house that we couldn't do while traveling. So the kids had their own reasons, but most of the kids' reasons, at their core, they weren't good reasons to my wife and I. Like, my son's reason was they wanted more room to play with their Legos. I mean, understandable when you're a kid. And he wanted good internet consistently to play video games. And so for us as parents, we had to make a decision. Like, we really feel like the trailer lifestyle for us, not the trailer lifestyle itself, but what the trailer lifestyle brought to us in terms of like value and outlooks on life and that sort of thing. So we had to make this decision though. Do we continue to kind of push our kids into this like way of living that we believe in, that we feel like is beneficial? But at some point they're going to start to really drag their feet and probably hate us. And so do we kind of give in and just say, okay, we'll go back to a house because you guys want, you know, good internet for video games? Wasn't the only reason, but so we decided, my wife and I, because we did want a home base and because our kids wanted to live kind of the house life for a while, because it had been quite a while for them since they had done it. We thought we'd give it a year. We thought we'd find a house, give it a year, and we won't make any decisions for long term, but we will try it for a year, see how it feels, see how the kids like it, see how we like it, and see if we can retain the values, the convictions, the reasons we left into the trailer anyways. Can we retain those in a house? And so at around the same time, because the other big issue was of the money side, right? Right? There was the money side, right? I don't like when people do right either. Because like, I'm telling the story, you don't know. Whatever. So we needed something like really cheap, something that would keep our expenses super low so that we still had the freedom to pursue the things that we cared about and live the way that we wanted to live. And around that same time, it worked out to where the story's long, but it is what it is. I'll just tell you the whole bit. For about a year prior to the place we got to with actually deciding to get a house, my parents had a house, the house I grew up in, and they were trying to sell the house. They wanted to get rid of it. In the meantime, while they were trying to sell it, because it needed some work done to it before they could sell it, they were renting it out, and the renting went okay. If you've ever rented a house, you know it can be tricky. It turned out to be tricky for them, and so the renters were in there for about a year, but they were leaving, and so my parents were like, we got to sell the house, but there was, like I said, there was substantial work that needed to be done to the house before they could sell it. So they were debating between whether like they should put in the most minimal amount of money to just get it sold, or if they should put in a little bit more and try to fix it up and get more money for it. And it was a tricky area. And they, from the beginning, when they were going to sell the house before they even had renters in, they wanted us, ideally it would have been like family would take the house because they wanted to like keep the house in the family. Lots of memories there. It's a cool place. And we didn't want it. We were just like, nope, we're traveling. We don't want the house. It's a lot of work and whatever. So anyways, fast forward. Let's fast forward. VCR button. Fast forward to a year or so later. The kids are ready to come off the road. We're thinking, man, it'd be cool to have a place that's cheap. We'd love to be in California, but it's too expensive. It just worked out price-wise. It worked out with the way that my parents are very giving and generous people, so we worked it out to where we could get the house very cheap in California, which is, you know, it's very hard to buy into California unless you have a lot of money. And so we thought, man, we'd have a place in California. It's kind of like the trailer was. It needed a full remodel. Same with our trailer. Our trailer was nasty when we got it. Not nasty, but it was just like old school. It was old school. It was very outdated when we got the trailer. And my parents' house was pretty nasty. And so it was a full remodel. It worked out money-wise. We had the money to do the renovations and as minimally as we could. But but we were able to do the renovations and got into the house. And so I think Erica's good, so I'm gonna drive over to Home Depot. We gotta get a ceiling fan.
Is normal.
It's kind of the last bit of renovation stuff that we're doing. So we moved into the house, we still had the trailer, and two things happened for why we got rid of the trailer. One, we kind of wanted a Class C because we now weren't living in the trailer full time, so we thought we just want something that's very travelable. And so we thought Class C would work better for us for just like, our plan now is to travel for 2 to 3 months at a time. And so a Class C would work better for where we're at now, not living in it. And so the other reason we got rid of it is during the renovations, we needed money. You think you have plenty of money for a renovation, and then the renovation costs they just keep going because there's more that you want to do. You're like, oh, we want to take this wall down now. Can we build another house over there? So we sold the trailer during the renovations, and it bought doors and windows, I think, for us. It's a long video, I'm telling you. The last question I've received about travel is how have we been able to retain sort of the trailer life and what that gave us in a house. And it's difficult. It's more difficult being in a house because two things happen when you have a house and space. One, you start collecting crud and garbage and things, physical things. When you don't have many things and it's very minimal, it's easy to just leave those things. It's easy to just go travel and do things. There's just less to take care of. And the second thing we've been collecting is time-consuming commitments. Like the kids are in different classes now, like I just took Erica to. They're involved in different local things here, and all of those things pull away from your freedom because you can't just leave at a drop of a hat. When we want to just go leave somewhere, there's like phone calls you have to make. There's things. There's like, oh, I forgot they have this on that day. Maybe we should do it next week. And it just becomes, it puts barriers between you and just absolute freedom to do whatever you want to do. And that doesn't just come down to travel. That comes down to, you know, following your dreams and purposes, your dreams and goals and the passions that you have. Like, you want to just be able to go after those things without, you want to put as few barriers between you and those things as possible, at least we do. And going into the house, there's more barriers now than there were in the trailer. So it's been kind of a learning curve for us, figuring out what that balance is. The kids don't do much. We don't have many commitments at all, but for us, it feels like, I don't like this feeling. Well, we have to be here on that day. I don't want to be anywhere on that day except where I want to be. You get very selfish with your time when you are living in a trailer full time, which I love. I love having that ability to do kind of whatever you want, whenever you want. So with that said, we're finishing it. The kids' classes and things that we have them in, those are really our only time commitments. We intentionally only did classes that lasted 6 weeks so that we could choose if we want to do more after that, or if we want to continue them, or if we want to cancel them. And we're already like, whoa, we need to pull back after this, because it got a little out of hand. There were 3 days a week where we had to be places. This probably sounds ridiculous to somebody who's, you know, in it full, like tons going on, but for us that's way too much. It's a lot. And so we want to so we're just working on what that looks like in the house. Overall, it's definitely more difficult. You have to be more intentional about it, but the thing that I've realized is you instantly notice it as soon as things go outside of what your comfort zone is, which was interesting. I'm talking a lot, I realize, but my daughter pointed this out, how for us it was very uncomfortable going into the trailer, and we want to always kind of push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. We want to be in places that push us to gain a new perspective on the world, to learn something new, to see something in a new light, and that takes discomfort usually to get to those places. And so moving to the trailer was that for us. It's like, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be a little scary, but we want to do it because we think it'll bring value to us. And my daughter pointed out how going into the house now is kind of the same thing. It's uncomfortable for us, it's difficult, it's something that we are going to struggle with a little bit, but it is like we were very comfortable in the trailer, really comfortable, and so this has pushed us outside of that. But we can really see now, as soon as our life gets a little too, like I said, too committed to things that pull us from our values, from our, you know, like purpose, our dreams, our goals, whatever, we instantly can pull back. Whereas before, we lived in the trailer, we didn't have those barriers. We didn't really know what that felt like. So you just commit to things, social obligations, social things like, yeah, we'll come to your party then, we'll go to that wedding then, and we can do that class, and oh yeah, let's do that field trip and this and that, and we can enter you in this sport and that. And it's very quickly, your life is not really yours anymore. Like, you're controlled by your calendar. And so going after things that matter to you, the value that you have deep down, it's like, you can't, there's no room for it. It goes for finances, goes for time too. And so we've been able to do it like pretty well, but it's because we lived in the trailer so long and we were able to fill those things pretty quick. And those core convictions we have are so deep rooted in us that we're not willing to give any of that up. So it's worked out really well. And I don't know what the future really holds for us. We are, right now we're planning to stay in the house. It's working well. I've been able to do, you know, it's like, man, I could talk about this all day. They both have pros and cons. And I think we're in a place where we're able to benefit from both of those things. You know, benefit from the trailer life and now into the house life to where we can have a home base. Still gonna travel a lot, but now travel is gonna be, travel for us now is less about the lifestyle and more about just being able to travel and go to the places we love, because we've been able to keep that lifestyle in the house. Does that make sense at all? Hopefully that answered your questions. This video is primarily for those of you wonderful people who have followed us on our journey while we were traveling around. And so if you have more questions or things, send them away. I'll answer them, but I feel like that was a pretty in-depth look at what we're doing, why we're doing it, I guess. Now I gotta go to fan. Home Depot. This is now we haven't done this perfectly with the moving to the house thing. We have gone too far in some ways. Maybe not too far, but with the house renovations and stuff, we kind of maybe went, I wouldn't say overboard, but we definitely, our house is nice now, and that's fine, but you, in a trailer, if you find something nice, you can't buy it, there's no room. In a house, you find something nice, it's like, oh, we can buy that. So we're spending more right now as we fix up the house than we did before. But we're almost done with that. And then we're gonna pare back and get rid of a bunch of garbage because we have too much stuff right now. Okay. Ceiling fan shopping is done. Man, that's a pain. It's not easy to find a ceiling fan that works, that you like, and doesn't cost a fortune. But I did it, I succeeded, I think. See, in a trailer, you don't buy ceiling fans. I mean, I guess you could, but nobody does. And if you did buy a ceiling fan, it would be like a 12-inch ceiling fan. It would basically be a USB powered, you know, handheld fan that you just like stick onto your ceiling with some tape, and that would be more than adequate. But then you get a house and it's like, the ceiling we're mounting the fan to is massive, so we need like this big ceiling fan. And all of the big ceiling fans at Home Depot, they don't come with lights because most of them are like outdoor fans, indoor outdoor fans. So you have to buy a separate light kit. All of this, I realize we don't have to do any of this. None of this is necessary. But our thought is, we're in the house, let's make it nice. Let's do, you know, let's just get it set, make it nice, and then we're done with it. I know a lot of people say that, like, oh, you're never done with a house. And it's true, there's always maintenance, there's always things to do. But we got pretty much everything done inside the house and outside the house. Renovation-wise, it's done. Furniture-wise, oh, that was a lot. Because we had no furniture, like I said, like I told you, like I said. The only thing we kept from our house before was a dresser, and we don't like the dresser anymore, so it's in my office, which is great, and we made use of it. But literally everything else, from forks to plates to couches, I mean, mattresses, sheets, we had to buy new stuff. Now we're broke. We spent all our money on the house, but that's why, it's part of the reason. So all of this long video works into where this new channel is going, because with the goal of working for myself and working on projects and things that I really, you know, care about, am skilled at, and have opportunity to do, that also align themselves with our values of family first. Family first, that sounds so cheesy and stupid. I wish I didn't say that, but it's true. Like, but it's true. See, I did it again. Anyways, it is, anyways, so with all of that, with our values, what we're trying to do, that's why YouTube and the films and working on freelance for the next 6 months is my priority. And so I'm hoping you guys watching this vlog, and go watch our Versus channel too. It's up, it's called Versus Verse. Kind of like Universe, but Versus Verse. It's brand new, like started from scratch. There's 3 videos up right now. Actually, there's only 1 video. 2 more will post this week. I'm trying to hopefully make those get to a level, get to a point to where we can work it out to bring some income, supplemental income even, so that freelance isn't my only gig. So share this video, like it, comment, help us get it out there to the world. Really, we need to show YouTube that people like the video, which means the more people who watch it, like if you watch this video and then you watch another one of our videos and then another one of our videos from this video, and you watch them all the way through, and you do that, but you also invite like a couple 100,000 of your friends, YouTube's like, oh, cool, and lots of thumbs up and positive comments. YouTube likes all of that, and it's like, oh, this is good. This guy already built a channel, let's start promoting him. That's the downside to YouTube, I guess. There's a lot of downsides to YouTube, actually. Where's the library? Oh, it's up here. Well, guys, that was a long video. If you made it all the way through this one, I look bald. Not really. Anyways, that meant hats off to you, because that was a long video. Those of you who watched this video all the way through, I know, are the ones who have kind of stuck with us and followed us probably for a while, and I appreciate you doing that. I know it's stupid to say I appreciate you guys, because it's really self-serving. I appreciate it because if you watch us, it means that we get rated higher in YouTube and all of that garbage. But there's a lot of stuff out there to watch on YouTube and Netflix and Hulu, and so for you to take the time out of your day to watch this, that's pretty cool. And really, the honest side of having a YouTube channel with people, there's some cool people that we've just, you know, commented back and forth to. You really feel like connected. You really feel like there's not a bond, but there is a, what am I talking about? I'm just rambling now. Anyways, appreciate you watching. And that's it. Goodbye. Back from all my chores, and we're shooting another Versus Verse here with Jared. And this is the quality that you get with Versus Verse. This may look like an ordinary footstool, but it's not. It's a highly expensive piece of video gear. It's called a mic stand. Nothing better. Quality.